Hey everyone! Patch 5.41 just released yesterday on January 12th. This patch focused on adding the final stage to Scarred Restoration. A lot of new furniture items, emotes, and glamour sets were added to this patch. I apologize that this video will not be as heavily edited or scripted like usual. I have to work a long work shift today, but I really wanted to get this video out there to help anyone who might not know how to do this stuff, because on this channel we care a lot about glamour. So I've gotta help out my fellow glamour enthusiasts. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about where the new items come from. Most of the new items come from the Kupo of Fortune minigame, so that means that you will have to turn in crafted items to this collectible appraiser in order to fill out Kupo Stamps and get these items. There has also been new items added to the script exchange. I know that the broom emote is over here, as well as some others, and there is also other new glamour sets at that vendor as well. When you check out this vendor, just remember that you can click this show only recently added items button, and that will quickly show you the new items. So I know that the apple emote comes from the Kupo of Fortune, as well as that new glamour set that I showed you on the website in the patch notes. That is from a Coffer, and a lot of the furniture items in that photo as well are in that mini game too. We're gonna have to do a lot of crafting to try to get this. The first thing we're going to talk about is gear. You really don't need to have the best gear. I'm not currently in the best gear. Right now, I am wearing a white crafted set, the facet set. I have all HQ, and then my accessories are the Dwarven accessories, and my tools are the white script tools. So all of this gear, it's not difficult to obtain. I haven't checked the price of the facet gear. I can't imagine it would be very expensive, because there is a green set out that is better, and you can also get white script gear, which I assume would be better, or maybe it's yellow script. I actually don't even know. If you watched my last video, I talked about how I'm switching over all of my crafting and gathering jobs to my alt, so I haven't really put much love into my crafting and gathering gear because it's all switching over anyways, so there's not really any point in me putting time into it. But you're totally able to farm for the Kupo Stamps with, just okay gear. You don't need the best gear. My craftsmanship is 2,604, my control is 2,328, and my CP is 505. I'm not fully overmelded. I have some materia. I have materia in every slot. And then as far as overmelding goes, not many of my items are overmelded, and they're only overmelded like once. So you could probably even get away with not doing that if you instead want to eat food. So I'm able to make items that have the full collectability. That way I'm getting the most points that you possibly can get when you're turning in your items. And I don't use food, and I'm not on a specialty crafter either, and I don't have any FC buffs or anything to increase my control or craftsmanship. So if you do need help with kind of boosting your stats up a bit, then I suggest using food or using a specialty crafter, which show you right. Yeah, see, your soul crystal gives you stats, so that will also help you. I'm going to be linking in the description of this video the macro that I use, that I set up for mine, and it's a 2-step macro, and I will talk a little bit more about that in a bit. The next important thing is to decide which crafter you want to turn in these items on. And if you look at any 80 crafters that you have, it will be the second to the last item. That's the one that we are focusing on in this video. We're not going to be doing expert recipes at all. Expert recipes, you really don't need to do that if you're just kind of farming Kupo Stamps. They do give you more scripts and they give you more sky points for the ranking system. If you care about either of those things, you can look into doing the expert recipes. But in my opinion, to get the Kupo Stamps the quickest, just do the white items. And also you need to be way more geared to do the expert recipes. These are 4-star and they require a lot of gear and overmelding. So every crafter has 3 diadem items that they're going to need to collect. And then they have 1 non-diadem item. Culinarian and Alchemist are a little bit different. Culinarian has to collect oven meat and Alchemists have to collect cubis flesh. So those 2 items, there's only a few ways to get them. You can get them by grinding specific monsters that drop them. You can get them by sending out your battle retainers on a venture to collect them. Or you can get them with bicolor gems, which is from the shared fates from Shadowbringers. With the bicolor gemstones, you'll have to look up which vendor they come from, but you can also buy them that way. I personally prefer to do the crafting ones because I can just go and gather the materials when I need more. I chose to do blacksmith because I already had a lot of dwarven mithril nuggets created, so that's not something I really had to farm. So keep that in mind when you are selecting which crafter you want to do this on. And then obviously you can collect materials for multiple crafting jobs. You don't have to do just one. I'm only doing one because my inventory is a tragic mess, and as you can see, I barely have slots left, and yeah, if I did more than one, I don't think I would have the space. So I'm just focusing on one crafter personally, but do whatever works best for you. Okay, so once you have your crafter selected and you know what you're gathering, make sure you know which diadem items you're going for, and then we'll head into the diadem here and I'll show you how to get the stuff you need. Okay, now as far as my gathering gear goes, my gatherer is in a much worse position than my crafter is. My gear is not HQ, and I don't have any materia, so it's in pretty bad shape. Let's see here. Here's my stats if you're just curious, but it just goes to show you really don't need anything crazy going in. So my gathering is 1,750. My perception is 1,673. My GP is 660. So very bad stats, but it works just fine. If you have more stats, then you're going to be able to gather more materials quicker, basically. But it's not necessary. It's totally up to you. So to get into the diadem, we come over to the mission commander over here and hit travel to the diadem. And you have to be a gatherer to get in here. Okay, once you're in the diadem, it's pretty simple. You just fly around and look for nodes that you need. So I know on my botanist that I just need yellow nodes because I'm looking for cedar log, white cedar log right there. So I'm just going to gather this. And yeah, you can just fly around. Now, the nodes are not random in the diadem. So there is a system to it and like paths you can take. That's something I didn't realize just until today though. So I'm sorry I don't have much information about it because I found it to be very confusing and I couldn't even figure it out myself. So I've got to look more into that to see if I can figure it out. And if I do, I can always make another video about it. But if any of you understand how that works, let us know in the comments. Okay, so my Aether meter just got to yellow. So what I want to do right now is find a monster to shoot with my giant bazooka, and they will give you a bunch of items. Specific monsters drop specific items, so you want to look up and see which monsters are going to be best for you. For me, for blacksmith, the monster that I want to kill is ice bombs, because they give me blue spirit and gold ore, which is the 2 mining materials that I need. So usually the monsters are kind of on specific islands, so also try to remember where the monsters you are that you need. Like the ice bomb spawns over here, southeast side of the map. So here's an ice bomb, and I'm going to push my special ability, and we're gonna shoot it. And boom, we just got a bunch of items. So I always suggest spending your Aether before you leave the diadem. And by the way, you can switch between the gathering jobs. It won't affect your Aether if you do that. You can hit U and then just leave. When you get out of the diadem, you will stop and talk to the resource inspector and make sure that you submit the items that you gathered and request inspection. You can't do anything with them if you don't do that. And you also get sky scripts for doing that as well. So make sure you do that. Okay, so now we are going to craft our item. I'm just going to be using a 2-step macro. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. You can always do a trial synthesis to try this out and see how it works out for you. Maybe you could, set up a macro that way. But what I do to set macros up is I use Teamcraft. On the left-hand side, you can click on Crafting Simulator. And here you can enter in your crafting stats, and you can also add in any food or FC buffs that you may be using to help boost you up as well. And you can just click the buttons just like you were crafting in game, and you can set up a crafting rotation this way, and it simulates it just like it would in the game. Also, you can unclick steps if you messed up and redo them. After you complete that and you play around with it, you can hit this Final Fantasy XIV button. It says generate in-game macro, and this will give you text that you can just copy, and then you go back to the game, hit escape, and go to user macros, and you can just paste your macro right in there. So that is a really good way to set this up so that you can quickly get through these crafts. I will again have my macro linked in the description of this video if you want to try to get like the same stats as me and use the macro I use. Okay, so let me just show you the macro in action. It's really easy. I mean, literally just hit the button, sit back and relax. You will get a sound that will sound like a whisper, and that will indicate to you that you need to press your second macro. I highly suggest either chatting with friends or watching something while you're doing this part. I'm currently watching The 10th Kingdom again, which is a miniseries that I super love. Oh, by the way, so there was the sound, so I'm going to activate my second part of my macro. But yeah, that's a little mini series I super love. It came out in the 90s. I've never met anyone else who has ever watched it. So if you've ever seen The 10th Kingdom, let me know. Okay, and there we go. It's done. So now we're gonna go turn it in. So we're going to the collectible appraiser. And just turn your item in. And then you get a Kupo stamp. You only get 1 stamp per item. Doesn't matter how well you did at it. 1 stamp per item. Okay, and there, we filled out a Kupo stamp. Now, you can also store up to 10 Kupo stamps before you turn them into the Kupo of Fortune. So you can it's kind of fun to collect a bunch and turn them in all at once. All right, so wish me luck on getting the casual item. their casual attire here. Let's see if we get it. It's okay, so no, we didn't get it. It's random. This is a pretty sucky card. It's random what items you get as your number 1 item. There's also like a new minion and stuff that you can get. So the way this works is these 3 boxes over here all have the same percentage chances for the items. And as you can see, obviously the number 1 and number 2 item are the most rare to receive, with only an 8% and a 9% chance. Now, if you are looking at your card and you don't really care about the first prize, but like let's say you want 2, 3, or 4, then you can click over here and this gives you a higher chance for those 3 items, and it eliminates the 1st and 5th item. So this card kind of sucks, so I don't really care what I get, so I'm just gonna click on something. Okay, we got some craftsman materia, so that's pretty cool. I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm not cool with that. That was a crappy card. That was not a fun card to show you guys. So, you know what? I'm gonna make 5 more items real quick, and I'll get right back to you guys, and let's see if we can get a more interesting card for the video. Okay, so I just traded in 5 more items, so let's see if we can get a better card to show you guys. Okay, here we go. Alright, the casual attire is on here, so oh my gosh, please. Please. Alright, let's go with this one. No! Okay, I couldn't have gotten it anyways because that symbol wasn't there. Ah! Okay, but yeah, hey, that was a good example though, so as you can see, obviously it's the lowest chance to get it, and then you can get the casual attire coffer. Now, if you get this item the first few days of this being out, I really do highly recommend selling it at first, because the price right now is high, but in probably like next week, I mean, the price is going to crash real fast, and soon this glamour set will, you know, basically cost nothing. So just, if you have some patience to wait for the glamour, then I recommend doing this to make a bunch of gil, and then, you know, buy it next week or something. Good luck everyone getting the new casual glamour set. I really hope this guide helps someone out at least. If you have any Ishgard Restoration or diadem questions, just let me know in the comments. Again, I'm sorry that this video wasn't as edited and scripted as it normally is, but I just really wanted to get this video out to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!